Okay, so when the Founding Fathers created the Constitution, they created it with the intention that anybody who was a white male property owner could vote for and eventually run for president. The Constitution has since been amended so that anybody who is over 35, has lived here for 14 years, and is a natural-born citizen can run for president of the United States. That is exactly what happened last year when this man, Donald Trump, became the 45th president of the United States of America. And as a political science major, I was curious as to how a man with no political experience whatsoever was able to achieve that. Well, Donald Trump ran a campaign that was unorthodox, unconventional, and in many ways completely polarizing. He heavily emphasized, or he manipulated the Electoral College. He used strong rhetoric, and he had a very strange relationship with the media. And over the course of this speech, I will go more in depth with all of those things, starting with the Electoral College and how it works. According to the New York Times article, How Does the Electoral College Work?, a candidate needs 270 Electoral College votes in order to win the presidency, with each state having a number of votes that is relative to its number of senators. So if you look at the CNN election results map, you can see that the West Coast and the East Coast went to Trump's opponent, Hillary Clinton, but the Rust Belt states almost unanimously went to Donald Trump. So then the question is, what did he do that translated into a victory in the Rust Belt states? And the answer lies in the rhetoric that he used. According to the book American Politics and Society, a lot of people in the Rust Belt states found his demagogic, populist rhetoric to be irresistible. And it's easy to see why, because according to Kansas State University political science professor Dr. John Fleiter, a lot of those people felt like they were left behind by Obama-era policies that actually favored the poor at the expense of the middle class. So a lot of these people in the Rust Belt states, Rust Belt states are actually characterized by having heavy unemployment, with factories that once had jobs there exporting those jobs overseas. Trump comes along and he says, we're going to bring those jobs back, we're going to get the economy rolling again, and that really resonates with these people because he's a successful businessman, he clearly knows what he's talking about. And a lot of these ideas are reinforced with the journal More Than a Rural Revolt, which stated that Trump's populism may have actually attracted once Democratic voters who felt like they were left behind by the Democratic Party. In other words, Democrats failed to create a message that resonated with white working class voters, and Donald Trump picked up on that. But it is important to recognize that there is another form of rhetoric that Donald Trump used, and that would be racist rhetoric. Going back to Dr. Fleiter, he actually played off of the white fears that people in these states had, like fears like immigration, terrorism, and things like that. I mean, we all saw it, we all heard about the wall. We all heard about the wall, we're gonna build a wall, Mexico's gonna pay for it, we're gonna make it great again. When he was talking about Mexicans, he actually said that they're bringing in drugs, they're bringing in crime, they're rapists, and some I assume are nice people. When talking about Syrian refugees, he said we're not going to allow anybody in from that country until they figure out what the hell is going on over there. In fact, it became so serious that Van Jones, a CNN commentator, actually referred to the election of Donald Trump as a whitewash against the election of Barack Obama. Fareed Zakaria, another CNN commentator, wrote in his piece, Why Trump Won, that a lot of it had to do with otherism. He took the problems that the country was facing and he blamed them on other people, black people, Hispanics, Chinese, Jews, etc., anybody who wasn't a white man. So then that leads me into my third point, which would be Donald Trump and the media. And I feel like it's important to break down his relationship into two parts, starting with his relationship with social media. Donald Trump is very active on Twitter. He used his Twitter during the campaign to hurl insult after insult after insult at his opponents. There was little Marco Rubio, there was low energy Jeb, there was even this picture right here of Hillary Clinton, which a lot of people think that was actually the Star of David. But at the same time, it's also important to emphasize his relationship with the media. It was very strange and unconventional. According to the New York Times article, $2 billion in advertising for Donald Trump, he got $2 billion in free advertising from news media, which is actually 2 times the price of the most expensive campaigns in history. Donald Trump ran one of the most unconventional, unorthodox, and completely polarizing campaigns in the history of American politics. He manipulated the Electoral College, he used strong, divisive rhetoric, and he had kind of a strange relationship with the media that wasn't really there with his opponents. And depending on what happens with the Russia investigation, it's going to turn out to be a very tense 3.5 years. Thank you.